Well, the next panel is already on the cards and is there with us. Fears and anxiety is the most talked about thing. I have fears or anxieties, something or the other. Let's see how we can resolve these issues of fears and anxieties. And for that, I have along with me in the panel, Dipti Gala. She's a conscious parenting coach, a certified counselor, and a landmark curriculum graduate who's a commerce graduate and an interior designer, founder designer at Confident You, and the founder of Your Child, Your Treasure, and on mission to help 100,000 parents consciously raise next generation leaders and strongly believes in leaders of tomorrow. Now, leaders of tomorrow, definitely, I'm going to talk about the young ones, live in the schools of today, so invest in them. Next on the panel, we have Dr. Zinal, who is a dynamic pediatrician and a dedicated lactation consultant, who is so passionate about babies and thrives to make journey of every mother a happy one. She helps mothers achieving their breastfeeding goals. She's a gold medalist and university topper all through and believes making a change, and what she did has created when she became one of the first few lactation consultants in Mumbai and created a post in the same at Hinduja Hospital, Hiranandani Hospital. Ma'am, you're most welcome. Next on the panel, I have Ms. Shobha Mathur, an educational consultant who has been working for the betterment of children since 1973, at first as a teacher and then to become a headmistress of an international school, a confident, caring, assertive, and organized curriculum writer and teacher trainer who's looking for opportunities to make difference in the lives of young children. Her training expertise lies in phonics, art of storytelling, math with fun, ICT and ECCE, quality circle time, and stream in early childhood, and many others. And definitely her motto is the medical teacher tells, the good teacher explains, and the superior teacher demonstrates. The great teacher, as she herself is, inspires.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne. Next in the cards is Aakanksha Awasthi, a corporate trainer, counseling psychologist, relationship consultant, dietitian, YouTuber, and Reiki chakra healer with a vast experience in her field. Her major focus of work is mental wellness, improving quality of life by using mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and mind training in her counseling and healing sessions. Also, she's been the guest speaker at All India Radio, a well-known name in the corporate training she is. Thank you for joining us, every one of you. Thank you. Dr. Zinal, can we please have your video on? Thank you so much. Well, my first question is definitely going to Dipti ma'am, who's going to definitely talk on how has the equation between parents and children changed over the last 18 months? How much of that is contributing to stress and anxiety for both?
So good afternoon, panelists. Good afternoon, parents. Today we are going to speak about the overcoming fears and anxiety. And definitely parenting is not an easy task. And especially in pandemic, parenting in pandemic was all the more difficult with a lot of, no interaction, social isolation for kids. There was the stress was of, we were taking our children off gadgets, and then these gadgets became the lifesavers, and they were the coping mechanism for our children and survival mode for our children. So again, the children were with abundant energies 24/7, always looking for constant attention and constant time. We had to give it to them. And with all these energies and pandemic overwhelm and online education culture and working from home culture and no house help, and with all this online digital addiction, the pandemic was really and is really creating a lot of massive emotional meltdown, emotional trauma, emotional imbalances, thereby creating a psychological impact on parents and children. So now the equation is that the child, that the parent is not only a parent, but a parent is also a teacher, as a friend, a guide, a caretaker. So she has so many duties and so many, competencies that she's tested on. And the child has also, being tested on his resiliency. He's being tested on his patience levels. His self-expression has been curbed, and the freedom, the self-expression and the freedom is almost lost. So on a whole, like, this all 18 months of pandemic, you can say we all missed life as an experience. And I'm really empathetic towards that. And I really understand that parents were really having a tough time, managing. So the stress and the anxiety was there and is going to be there, because we are all living in the fear. We are living in the fear of unknown, uncertainty. There is, we are living in the fear of death of the closed one, or, future career. So we all are living in the fear. And it is so much ingrained in our bodies and minds that it's almost taking the power of, our living life and facing our fears fiercely. So I want to tell this parents today here on this panel as that fear is real. Fear is real, but failure is imaginary. So ongoingly, life is always going to, give us some or the other stress, anxiety, or worry. So even if we talk about anxiety today, it's all about, our brain is constantly telling, that worry. The stress is actually the worry. And that worry is always, feeding up our brain. But that our brain is feeding up and telling that, I please, listen to me today. I'm stressed. And it's telling our brain that, please be occupied with my thoughts, and, take that worry to a stress level or an anxiety level. And once, as a conscious parent, I'm always, trying to tell parents to be conscious of your own thoughts and your behavior. So when you understand and identify that stress, or, or that anxiety or that fear is just a worry, and it's anticipated, it's not real in the real sense. It is something which you have anticipated. And if you can just bifurcate that from your problem and how to solve that, you can really combat your stress levels and your, anxiety in a very efficient way. So you identify your stress, you identify your fear, and tell, oh, this is my fear. So what can I do with this fear? How about if I deal this fear, fiercely? How will I be the next level person if I just get away with this? Or how do I deal my stress more efficiently? So once we understand this in our minds and, bifurcate them, we can really achieve, our stress levels to minimum, and we can face our lives fiercely, and, we can really give it back. So when this equation of parent and child is, in this turmoil of, up and down and roller coaster ride that life is giving us right now in pandemic, I have three important strategies to discuss with parents today. I want to tell the parents that the pandemic has come, but, life is never going to be certain, and there are things going to be always coming on us. How to deal efficiently in life is going to be a challenge for us now. So the three main strategies are, the first one is, it is a capacity to heal. So we already, God has been very kind, and we have immense power into us. We have immense power and strength and courage that we can give it back. And, we have that capacity to heal, and we have that immense power within us, and it's already into us. But we, as parents, are supposed to find the ways for us. So the capacity for healing is always there, but we are always lacking because we are not aware of it, or we are not trying our hands on for that. So my invitation to parents is I'll be discussing four sub main strategies into this capacity for healing. The one is make your journey from chaos to calmness. So before pandemic, it was very difficult for me to tell parents that please sit, with your children for dinner and, have device free dinners. That was a impossible task. But because of pandemic, it became so easy for me. And, actually parents started applying that. So I really assume and I really think that the journey from, chaos to calmness is already begun. But we need to really keep the hang on it now, since the pandemic is going to, get over and we are going to come into the new normal. I really want parents to look at it and be conscious that we are not going to be that chaotic parents anymore now. We are going to be the more calmer version. And so what all we can do in that? So we have to detoxify our thoughts, our behavior, our addiction towards gadgets, the online influence, which is creating, which is eating up our brain every day and night, and is not giving a clear focus for us to do better in life. So decluttering and detoxifying is the one, real game changer. Please try and, be a little calmer and try to make your life to the minimalism. The second one is be a conscious consumer. The more you consume, the more you have things with you, the more you are, defocused and you are always in those thoughts. For example, if I go and, have a designer dress, I will choose a designer, I'll go to the cloth store, I'll find that, designs and the whole process, till the making of the dress and then where to wear it. So much thoughts go into that one thing. So if you are consciously consuming, like, even your thoughts or your, maybe your, food, maybe what are you eating on a daily basis? Are you eating a junk food or you are eating a healthy meal? Be conscious in consuming whatever is life is giving to you. So if that happens, you are going to be on a calmer state more often. And the third one is we always complain, we are always, Aakanksha is more happier than me, and Swalin has this, and she has a, and Shobha ma'am is, so we are always in that comparison mode. And, we are not satisfied with our lives. We want more and more. So my invitation to parents today is try and, have that attitude of gratitude in yourself. And please teach to your children also that life is always, be thankful of what you are having. And, there are so many others who are not fortunate enough. So the attitude of gratitude and positive affirmations, speaking them again and again, writing journals, that will help you to calm yourself from FOMO, fear of missing out. Try and, have the joy of missing out. So try your journey to, try to come down to that JOMO mode by, having this gratitude and the positive affirmations. So that is all about, chaos to calmness. The second one in capacity for healing, the second, the main ingredient is.
Ma'am, I'm afraid the time is quite up.
Yeah. So the second one is self-regulation, manage your own emotions. And the third one is self-love and self-care. So love yourself, take out time for your own care. So that is all which goes into the capacity for healing. The second one is social cohesion. We are all human beings and we all need interaction. We are all interdependent of, with each other for support. So the social cohesion, is very important. Look out for support groups, look out for people to talk to, have some support system in your life when you are, stuck. That will really help you. The third one is, the last point is resilience. Life has always been, about bouncing back. We have always given it, and we have always fought with courage and grit and determination. So the mindset and the attitude sets a perfect, system for us to fight with resilience. So try and see, how in life there were times where now if you think you did that thing, but now you think about it, you will say, no, this is what I did in the past, but now if you give me this some same situation, I will not be able to do that. So we already have it in us, that courage and grit. So try to bounce back by role modeling it for your kids also, doing it again and again. Increase your tolerance window and celebrate your small wins of life. There are small things which we really forget about, laughing, having dinners, and going out with the children, having a pillow fight. So celebrate those small wins in your life, and life will be beautiful. In the end, I will just tell that we are all here together to build, to last. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dipti ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful insights. Next on the panel, my question goes to Dr. Zinal Shah. We have heard of many cases where parents are struggling with toddlers crying uncontrollably when taken to even mildly crowded places. Why is this happening? Is this a long-term issue? And what can parents do to deal with it?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Very good afternoon, and thank you so much. I would love to address to this question. See, COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown has brought all of us a lot of sense of fear and anxiety, all around the globe. Now, this phenomena has led to short-term as well as long-term effects, either on us and on children. So there are a lot of psychosocial and mental health implications which we are seeing in toddlers. Now, the quality and magnitude of the impact on these children is determined by many vulnerability factors, which could be the age of the child, the education status of the child or the parents, any pre-existing diseases, or the economic status, and the infection being happened in the family. I have seen the level of fear is very high in children who probably have had some case in the family where other people are so much anxietated. So, children sense the level of the state of mind of the parents and the family. So if the parents are very much excited and feared, no, those children have a higher level of fear. So I think it all depends on the overall behavior and the background where the parents are into what kind of a mindset. So many people have lost lives, okay, in the during the pandemic. So I think the anxiety levels amongst still a lot of parents and children is very high. Now, in the world, there are more than 2.2 billion of children, which amounts to approximately 28% of the world population. Now, imagine how much these children are getting affected. Now, coming to the toddlers, the essential modus over here is that parents were so scared that they never took children out of the house. Even if parents went, they went themselves for grocery shopping. They never kind of took children outside. Okay, they were always children should be kept at home, they should be kept protected. We never wanted children to go down to play, so children were never exposed to the outside world. So here I'm talking of toddlers, which is the babies who were just born before the pandemic started or during the pandemic. So the level of anxiety amongst the pregnant moms at that point also was, I still remember attending deliveries at that point when mothers who delivered in April, May, June last year, that doctor, humko COVID ho jayega to hum kya karenge? And I have definitely seen a lot of COVID positive mothers and COVID positive babies, and the kind of anxiety is so high. So if the mother in pregnancy is having a higher level of anxiety, she will definitely pass on that level of anxiety to the child when the child is born. And that baby, okay, who is just kept protected in the house, doesn't know that the outside world exists. So I am right now in my clinic seeing so many toddlers coming for vaccination. The moment they see other human beings, they start crying because they have not seen a world beyond their home. They have not seen the world existing. There can be a social life, or there can be a world beyond my parents and beyond their grandparents or the maids. I think at one point of time last year in the pandemic, even the maids never came. So they have not even seen maids. They have not even seen any other human beings. So very important is to now for us as a community to address to these children, because what I personally as a pediatrician feel is that this developmental problem in children, where a lot of children we are seeing who don't give us eye to eye contact, who don't even speak one word, there is a lot of speech delay, there is a lot of anxiety and fear to get out into this world and meet people. these children will grow up and we will have a bigger pandemic of developmental problems in children. So I think that more than COVID, we are going to deal with next 5 years. We are going to have a generation of children who are socially, emotionally, mentally not able to cope up to the situation, and they don't know how to handle. How are we going to deal with this situation? As parents, as doctors, as psychologists, I have started telling all my parents now is that please start taking your children now little bit outside in your known circle so that children meet other human beings and they understand that, okay, this is my extended family. Okay, I know how to greet good morning, or I know how to smile, or I know how to communicate. So as parents, we need to elevate our own anxiety and now leave the pandemic for some side and start taking our children outside. Now, this is a very bold thing which I'm talking, but I'm talking out of experience. COVID is here to stay for a very, very long time. Mind you, COVID is not going anywhere. It is going to be like a normal flu. Like we are going to have this mask over here with us for the next 2 to 3 years till we see that the situation is getting better. So are we going to keep our children locked up for another 2 to 3 years? I don't think so. So very important is that slowly and gradually start taking that step so that you take your children in a known family area or known friend circle where they meet other children. I think we as children learned so much without any classes. We used to play in the open grounds for hours and hours. And our parents had just left us. हम लोग मिट्टी में गिरते थे. हम लोगों को लगता था हम लोग ने कभी bother नहीं किया था. So now parents are scared even to send their children down to play. So please expose your children to physical activity, outdoor activity, and some kind of group activities, and you teach them to maintain social distancing. So they can play at group activities with some social distancing. They can wear a mask. Teach them not to share bottles so that they don't share water bottles and food, and teach them to wash their hands at regular intervals. So I think if this can be done, children will get a feeling that yes, life can become to normalcy, and I do have a life beyond my family where they can start talking also better, they start reacting better, and their fears and anxiety are taken care of. So I think the anxiety level is something which we should first address of the parents and then of the children. And if parents are not anxious, children are also not anxious. I have seen that. So here our children, they sense and they absorb our emotions and our energy. So we as parents, we as family should be fearless. Okay, what is COVID? I understand it's a pandemic, but now I think we all have to come to terms to accept it that yes, it is going to stay and we have to deal with it in a stronger manner rather than locking ourselves in the home. I think that phase is gone now, what we did last year. So talking of this year, they should be exposed to more activities. We should be engrossing children, as ma'am just the previous ma'am before me said that screen time. Earlier we used to say that don't give screen time at all. Now we are seeing that children are so much hooked to screen time that the only person whom they recognize as human is the TV or the laptop or the mobile. And there is so much of screen time that I am now telling parents that screen time band karo, otherwise your child is going to become autistic. So there is so much of screen time. I have had bigger children who have come to the clinic with anxiety and depression and obesity, and also late night TV seeing till 2 o'clock. Imagine the circadian rhythm of the body gets hampered so much that the baby is allowed to see TV till 2 o'clock in the night and 12 o'clock in the night. So disciplining children, let the children following their circadian rhythm, and also taking them out on a regular basis with outdoor activities and telling them that this is a normal world, taking them to places where you are comfortable. I'm not saying go to public places, go to places where you are comfortable, and telling them that these people are our family, these people are our friends, you can play with the children, will make them much better and they will be able to change over some matter of time. One more suggestion which I tell all the parents to do is that you can start little bit of group activities. Like you can start maybe, 2 or 3 children, you can start kind of a homeschooling or a play school at home where you can call a teacher at your home with 2 or 3 children. So, it's not too much of a group of school, but a small group where your child is playing with other children and getting a routine that, okay, this is how I'm supposed to play and this is how I should learn, and they understand peer relation. Okay, so I think time is up. So thank you very much. And if there are any more questions, I would love to address it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being on time. Yes, of course, if there are certain questions, we're definitely going to put it up with you. Yes. Next on the panel, we have Shobha Mathur, who's going to tell us what the great relief that schools are reopening. So that is absolutely a relief for a child as well as a parent, I think. Children and parents both have some level of anxiety and hesitation also, while definitely wanting to get back to school. How do you suggest, ma'am, to deal with this lingering fear?
Thank you, Swalin, and thank you, Nitin and Crispminds, for inviting me. I think I will continue from where Dr. Zinal Shah ended, because as parents, I think we all tend to pass on our fears to our children. If we are scared to go into the water, or we are scared of going, of a dark place, we tend to tell our children, don't go near the water, you will drown. Don't go into the dark corners, there might be somebody lingering around there. So our fear goes into the children, and they are also scared of water. And say, nay, nay, we will not go near the water. We will not go for a boat ride, and we will not go into dark corners. So that fear is automatically passed on to the children. So like I will tell you from my experience, as a kid, I was, that time when I was small, we used to sleep outdoors. And, oh, my light is gone. So we used to have a lot of shadows cast on us through the street lights, and in the darkness we used to see a lot of figures. So I was very scared of them. Now as parents, my parents, they would tell me, no, you don't have to be scared of these images. They are just shadows. And they would create a person, or tell me that the shadows looking like this, and we used to play with the shadows. And they became my friends. They were like my pretend place. So I would lie in bed, look at the shadows, and play with them before I went to sleep. So I overcame my fear, and that I'm talking of my childhood. So that time my parents could do this. I'm sure we are all more aware now, and we will not ridicule our children if they have a fear inside them. So these days, I find children are scared of schools, they're scared of teachers, of hospitals, medicine, even pets, and thunder or lightning. Children tend to get scared. So what do we do as parents? We try to help them. We should try make it a little more, comfortable for them, and help them overcome that fear and that anxiety that they are going through. Now, like my son was petrified of balloons. So what did I do? He would touch the balloon and he would run away, because that little static thing in the balloon would make him shiver. So I just left balloons in a room, colorful ones, and just let them be there. And he went, touched them, and he he started playing with them in 2 hours' time. So that was perfectly fine and normal for him. Now, as parents, we have passed on our fears of the pandemic also to the children. Unknowingly, we have done this because we watch the television, we talk about the fear, and we talk about everything in front of the children, and we feel the child is playing, the child is not listening to us, and the child is not able to hear what we are saying. But parents, child is listening to everything that you are talking. So when as a parent you are talking about it, the child is listening to you, hearing what you are saying, and they tend to jump to their own conclusions. Of course, we must tell them to sanitize their hands, to wash their hands, and to maintain social distance. But then don't develop that fear in them. They keep listening to us, and then we need to be very, very careful of what we are saying to be able to help them overcome that fear. So, as parents, when the question of taking the children out to school comes, what is it? You take the children out to parks and to your shopping or something, it is a one-to-one relationship, or it is a two-to-one relationship, because you have one or two children with you, right? When you're sending the child to school, what is it? It is more children there. So what do you think you should be able to do is go to the school, talk to the find out from the school, the principal, the counselor, or the administration head, what arrangements they are doing in the school. So they will have their sanitizers, they will sanitize the classrooms, they will place bottles in the classroom, the children, everybody in the premises will wear a mask, and they will maintain social distance, they will wash their hands before eating their meals and after eating their meals. And of course, the school can also increase the number of helpers or maids in the school premises, train them, and help them supervise the children better. And of course, this Arogya Setu is there to help us know if there is anyone around with suffering from COVID. So with all this, and the vaccinated staff and non-teaching and teaching staff should be vaccinated. So if we have all these places, these things in place, then I don't think there is there should be any hesitation in children going to school. So once you have satisfied yourself, once you have understood that the school is taking all the precautions, it's it's easy for you, must it will be much easier for you to send the child to school, because going to the school is very important for the children, for their physical, social, emotional development, for their linguistic development, for them to interact, to mingle with the children, to interact with other children. It is important to go to school. So without playing or interacting with one another, children miss out on growth. Their own growth is hampered. Children watch other children play, and other children, they learn from other children. Peers are their best teachers. You will always notice when there are two children playing, one child wants the toy the other child is playing with, because he always thinks, oh, that toy is better. So without playing and interacting with one another, they miss out on that. Children watch each other, and they learn from each other. And this leads to team building and collaborative skills, which help children later in life. Team building activities also help and enable children to grow better and in the learning process of the children. Children teach one another, and peers, of course, like I said, are the best teachers. Emphasize to the children that they're going to meet their friends, they will interact with them, they will play with them, and they will learn in a healthy school environment. Have a positive conversation with your children and help them understand that the school is a safe place, and they do have to take some care in, as precautions. And they have to, talk to them about cleanliness, hygiene, and sanitization. And I think the best mode of communicating with children is through stories. Tell them stories related to cleanliness, hygiene, sanitization, care, and all the care that they have to take during this pandemic. Like Dr. Shah said, pandemic is not going to leave us soon. So move out. I also hesitated in moving out, yes, let me tell you. But now that I do, I go out, I come back, clean myself, take a bath, change my clothes, and that is what the children will also have to do. And get them vaccinated when the time is there. When that time comes, teach them to wear a mask, clean their hands, and maintain social distance, not to share their food, their water bottles with other children, and definitely not to take food and water from other children's bottles and their boxes. My granddaughter is 6 years old, and she is the only child staying in the US, alone, nobody to play with. So the first day she went to school, do you know what her reaction was after 2 years of schooling? When she missed 2 years of schooling and she went back, she came back and said, it was the best day of my life. Visualize your children enjoying, visualize your children having that fun, and visualize your children, talking like that and having fun, playing and interacting with other children. you will definitely want them to go to school. Check out the facilities and let them go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shobha ma'am. And that was proper well in time, I must say. So thoughts for that also. Thank you so much. Yes, now I think the parents are quite settled to send their children after the talk to the schools, and they are quite prepared for this. Thank you so much. My next question is for ma'am Aakanksha Awasthi. So, well, we have been actually settled into this work from home culture. Many want to get back, but there are many still anxious about the safety and going back to the office. How do you suggest they overcome this change and anxiety?
Yeah, thank you so much, Swarleen. This was most relevant and genuine question of this time, I would say. I really would like to thank my complete platform. I really think this Crispmind initiative is really wonderful that they have got all of us together and helping parents out. This is really a nice approach, and that too on Mental Health Day. Kudos to your effort, first of all. So, on a list, I would like to first, let explain how this works. Like, what is anxiety and fear? If we give it a name, it certainly, turn up into something which is psychological. But we always understand I don't have any psychological issues. No, I don't have any anxiety. But how anxiety looks in a very layman language. So anxiety is basically, first thing first, this is a term which is causing any uncertainty. If you don't know the future, if you don't know what is gonna happen, definitely you're gonna anxious. Second thing about anxiety is it is contagious. If you take a small example, if you are traveling in a bus or a flight and someone is saying maybe it has a bomb or it is getting hijacked, one person is getting anxious and giving that role to others as well. Gradually, if you see, everyone will feel that fluctuation in their blood pressure, their heart rate. So yeah, anxiety is contagious as well. So third most important thing is the more you think about anxiety, the more it is getting bigger in your mind. It is more like a Velcro. It is like one person is thinking and it is getting stuck with your mind कि हाँ वो हुआ था, हाँ ये बहुत important चीज है. So how to overcome with that with very day-to-day life examples. Like I'm gonna give you a few steps, step by step. One thing, first of all, accept the situation. Even if you are feeling little relaxed sometime, but maybe twice or thrice in 24 hours, if you're feeling anxious or fearful about something, please get notice out of it, get accustomed with that thing, notice about your symptoms and other stuff. Like accept the fact, first of all. If you're not feeling okay, that's okay, but first accept it, then only you can overcome, and then only you can address and rectify it. Second most important thing is don't expose yourself all of a sudden, go bit by bit. If you're starting your office, maybe you can call your friends, your colleagues, take a round towards the campus, go towards your seat, your cubicles, and fix up some time for coffee break or something. Buy some new stuff, maybe a new bag, maybe a new hairstyle, a look, which is giving you some small motive to get accustomed to the new thing, that let's go. That feeling should come there. Other thing what we can do, which is very important, and whole world is actually chanting about that word, that is mindfulness. Be in the present moment. That is very, very important. If you are in the present moment, you're not worried about what has happened in the past and what can be happening in your future. Next thing is very important, which is you need to take your emotional, this imbalance or anything which is a challenging time thing. So any emotion is really, really important. Maybe few of your colleagues have lost their lives, maybe few of your colleagues got laid off because this pandemic was really harsh and heartless for many of us. So yeah, don't just say the word that it's fine, it happened, I'm okay, I'm fine, and maybe if I take a break, if I take a small trip with my family and friends, I'm gonna be okay. No, this is stucking somewhere here. right? So we need to tackle, we need to get it addressed and get it rectified bit by bit, not all of a sudden. So even if it is a challenging time, even if your emotion is little struggling, just be patient with that. Practice this mindfulness thing, practice self-compassion, and very important point is only focus on what you can control. Because if you are, going to the office and you're worried about the timing, because now everyone is very much relaxed, we are sitting in our pajamas and bought this bed tables and working throughout the day with your legs stretched or something. But yeah, now this rhythm will be broken off. This comfort zone we need to break. So how to accustom with that? Like I have given other tips as well, but focus on what you can control. The thing, the policies of corporate you cannot change, don't focus and don't linger on upon that too much, because you are not the one who's going to make or break it. So what you can change, maybe you can put an alarm for a little 10 to 15-minute early time. You can just accustom with the traffic thing and all. So again, the mindfulness, being in the present moment and focus on what you can control, that's gonna definitely solve your problem. Then small tidbits like start your gratitude journal, practice deep breathing, calm your mind, take a proper sleep, hydration, talk to your loved ones. Never stay back by asking from help. This is really very important point. If you're feeling little, uneasy, little dull, or this has become your habit of a week or something, like maybe more than 72 hours, if you're feeling dull, there is something which is ticking in your mind. Take help. Don't hesitate to ask for help, and look closely for your colleagues, your buddies, your friends, family. If they are feeling little off or something, suggest them to take a proper help, and don't linger on, don't procrastinate these things. This will definitely create a chaos, and then maybe if it is too late, we need to go for a psychiatric treatment or something. Maybe you can talk a little bit with your friends, loved ones, or maybe a counselor. That can definitely help. Always understand this. Adjustment to any new thing is a process. It's not gonna be a switch on or switch off thing. So yeah, of course, it is a long process. What you need to do is be persistent and be flexible. You definitely are gonna come up or overcome with any situations, or if not, counselors are there. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Means a lot. I think it has been an eye-opener session. And all the fears and anxieties that we were carrying in our minds for so long might have been resolved. And if there are certain questions, you are most welcome to put them up and we send it to across to the panelists. Thank you so very much, Aakanksha. Thank you, Dipti.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you, Shobha, for being with us today. It means a lot. Thank you so much. The poll is open. You can please do the polling. Well, we are in the midway of the panel, and I think it should continue so that I'm learning and learning and learning more.